Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. Sometimes I wish people would just listen to me about things rather than try to. I don't know what it is. If it's like if I say something, people think I'm wrong, and then when I end up being right, it's like it's kind of like an "I told you so" moment. But the big topic for the Indiana Pacers has been Tyrese Haliburton for the entire season so far. I think we're 17 games into the season now. We play Portland tonight. Indiana's 8-10, so 18 games. We're about almost 20 games into the season. Tonight is game 19 against Portland, and I was being incredibly patient with Tyrese Haliburton. I was one of those people that, I was under the assumption that this dude was injured. I was like, okay, something's not right, obviously. He had the hamstring injury last year. Then there's, rumors of back spasms and stuff like that. So I wasn't ready to just throw in the towel on him. I was like, let me just see what he looks like when he's healthy, right? And the past two games, I think it's safe to say dude balled out. Now, I know obviously I'm going to get the people who are like, oh, well, it was against two of the worst teams in the league. It was the Pelicans and the Wizards, and we should have blew them out. We should have did this. We should have did that. I don't give a fuck as long as we won, okay? For example, against the Pelicans and the Wizards, we were supposed to win those games, right? I think that goes without being said. We beat the Pelicans by 4 points without all of their starters, or most of their starters. CJ McCollum did play. And then against the Wizards, we had a pretty good game against them, too. Final score of that game was 115-103. But Tyrese Haliburton, against the Wizards, put up 21 points, 9 assists, and 2 steals. And then against the Pelicans, the dude went absolutely fucking bonkers. And he had, I believe, 34 points. He had 34 points, 13 assists, and 3 steals. For a box plus minus of plus 16. Miles Turner had 17 and 9 in that game as well. And then even against the Bucks, even though the percentages weren't great, Tyrese Haliburton still played an okay game. And I'm at a point now where I know people are going to say I'm jumping the gun. He's probably going to play like shit tonight against Portland, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Tony East, in his most recent podcast, was asking the questions if the Pacers have turned a corner or not. I don't think the team has. I think Tyrese Haliburton has, though. And that's very, very important. This team is kind of a shell of what it was last year. We have a lot of guys that are injured, and I'm taking that into account as well. We got a lot of rookies that are getting minutes. Moses Brown has just been kind of thrust into things. But Tyrese Haliburton, I think, anyway, is back. I understand we have to see him play on the road, but from what I've seen against, the Pelicans and the Wizards, I would say I think he's out of his funk a little bit. Obviously, that could change, but the thing is, I said this in my last video that the biggest thing for me with Tyrese Haliburton was it looked like a confidence issue. Even when he was on the bench, the body language of the team, everything did not look good, right? I've said it time and time again that winning cures all things. And it would appear after they beat the Wizards, they went out against the Pelicans. Tyrese Haliburton beat the brakes off the Pelicans. And they play the Portland Trail Blazers tonight, who are known to be a defensive team. I got DeAndre Ayton going for a double-double against Miles because DeAndre Ayton is, somewhat of a true center. And Miles usually doesn't play well against them. So we'll see what happens. But I'm predicting Tyrese Haliburton puts up a 20 and 10 again tonight against Portland. I am almost willing to bet on that. It's just the idea. I think Tyrese Haliburton has turned a corner, but we also still have guys like Johnny Furphy who are getting their feet wet, right? Same thing with Enrique Freeman, and Quentin Jackson is a guy who's getting more minutes than he would normally would. Ben Shepherd is injured. Aaron Nesmith is injured. Isaiah Jackson is injured. James Wiseman is injured. All these guys are injured. Okay, we have a bunch of injuries on our roster. So I'm not really losing my mind that we're not blowing these teams out. Aaron Nesmith, I think, is easily our best defender, and we don't have him, right? We're not good at defense. Our offense is slowly getting better, but I think I understand it's hard to be patient when we're 20 games into the season, but the team looks like it's slowly starting to get back to what made it successful last year in being a fast break team and getting out and, beating teams in transition. Obi Toppin has looked really, really good this year. So Jarris Walker's a guy that's getting more burn. We got Benedict Mathurin back, so Mathurin is getting included in things a little bit more now. So there is some slight adjustments going on as well. You have a team that's trying to contend for a playoff spot, and right now, I'm just going to be honest with you, 3 through 8 or 3 through 8 in the bona fide playoff spots are all up for grabs. I think the only spots that are not up for grabs are the 1 and 2 seed. I think Boston and Cleveland are the 2 teams in the East that are ahead of everybody else, and 3 through 8 is just, it's any man's race essentially. So that's why I'm not panicking. That's why a lot of people were freaking out that Haliburton was playing like shit. But I'm as long as we don't have a complete fucking collapse and go on a 10-game losing streak, I think we'll be okay. As long as we don't do a 5 or 7 game losing streak, I think we're okay. And, I think this is a team that will still make the playoffs. It's just, I think the aspirations that people had of this team of making it to Eastern Conference Finals or winning a championship need to be toned down just a little bit. This team is still one of the worst defensive teams in the league. And unfortunately, if you're a professional basketball team and you're not in the top 10 defensively, it is very, very hard to win a championship. Granted, we took something last year in the playoffs and did what nobody else was doing. Everybody in the playoffs is known for playing half-court slow, offense rather than, fast break transition offense. And we did that. That's what we did against the Bucks. That's how we beat the Knicks. It was pretty obvious in the very first series against the Bucks that playing their game was not going to work for us. Then we were like, okay, we're going to get out and run and make them beat us. And we ended up winning that series. Pascal Siakam had 2 of his best games back-to-back as a Pacer in his career for us that he's been here with us. He had 2 insane games against them. I think it was in games 1 and 2. So there's something to that. You know what I'm saying? There's something to that. And honestly, this is a team that I think if they want to be a championship contender, we might have to part ways with some guys we might not want to in order to get some length and some defense on this roster as far as the wing position goes. Obviously we're hurting a little bit at the center position. I do think Moses Brown has been very, very good. Moses Brown had, 8 straight points for us, our first 8 points against the Wizards. So Moses Brown looks like he's slowly coming into things, and finally the team looks like it's clicking again. They finally look like they have a little bit of chemistry, whereas when the season first started, I was like, this looks like, a fucking, a pickup basketball team where it's like you just went to the park and picked 5 guys and said, hey, let's go play ball, whereas now they actually look like a team. The body language is better, specifically with Miles Turner. The body language is better, right? They finally look like they're having fun. They don't look like they're down on themselves anymore, right? And like I said, sometimes even if you're beating a team that's not that good, right? Sometimes just getting that win is all you need. With Tyrese Haliburton too, sometimes all you need to catch a hot streak is just see one ball go in the basket. Right? There's plenty of guys like that where they could be on a losing streak or just not playing well in some type of funk. All it takes for them is to see one ball go in the basket and suddenly they're like, okay, I can still fucking do this. And I think that's what the past 2 games have meant for Tyrese Haliburton. And you know what? If Tyrese Haliburton is playing well, the whole team is playing well. So, you know what? I'm excited. I want to watch this Portland game tonight, but I don't think I'm gonna get to because I have a party to go to tonight for it's like a pre-Thanksgiving thing. Every year they have this massive party. A lot of my friends are going, so I'm probably gonna do that tonight. That's from 9:30 to 1:30 in the morning, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. If I go there and it's fucking dead, I'm just gonna come home and maybe watch the game, but I kind of doubt that. Like, historically, this party is pretty big. So I probably won't even catch the game tonight, but I do think Tyrese Haliburton at the very least is back. I don't know about the rest of the team. Miles has been better. Pascal Siakam has been Pascal Siakam for the most part. He hasn't really. He's been on maybe a little bit of a slump. Now that Tyrese Haliburton is ascending, Pascal Siakam's descending a little bit now that, Haliburton's finally looking to score the fucking basketball. That was nice. Yeah, you know what? Things are looking better. Things are, even if things are not where you want them to be right now, right? At least it's trending in the right direction, right? Whereas at the beginning, I'm just going to call it what it is, man. At the beginning of the season, this team looked like they weren't going to be a play-in team. Okay? I think we can all agree with that. The first 5, at least the first 7 or 8 games of the season, maybe even the first 10, we looked at this team and we're like, yeah, this could be a fucking problem. This team looks like it's not even going to be a play-in team. Now we're out to about the 20th game of the season now. Game 19 is tonight, and we're finally looking like we're actually a unit that actually played basketball together before. We finally look like a team that worked out together over the summer and are finding out where guys want the ball in their spots and stuff like that. They're adjusting to the starting lineup with Ben Mathurin being in it and Quentin Jackson being in it and, Johnny Furphy getting minutes where he's a rookie and we still don't know where he likes the ball and all this other stuff, right? So there is a learning curve going on there, even if we are not blowing these teams out. That's part of the reason as well. Rick's also trying to figure out, does this rookie play well? Does this rookie play defense well? And Enrique Freeman was not ready for prime time. Okay, there's a reason they signed Moses Brown. Enrique Freeman is he was a rebounding machine in college, but this is the pros. Okay, 6'7" ain't gonna get you very many rebounds in the NBA unless you're Dennis Rodman or some crazy shit like that, right? So I don't know. You know what? We'll see what happens. I think they're going to beat Portland tonight. At least I'm hoping they will. And if this team can get back to 500, at least before they go back on this road stretch, that would be a big deal. Because, this is a team that I think needs to be above 500 by the trade deadline if they want to keep Miles Turner around. Even though Miles is a pacer lifer to most people, you do get to a point at some point where you're tired of losing. Anybody who's truly competitive at anything hates losing. And I think that Miles has been complacent. I think he enjoys that, he's just, making a lot of money and getting to be a starter on a basketball team. I don't know how much Miles really cares about winning a championship, but I guess we're going to find out within the next couple months or so. If Miles Turner leaves to go to a different situation, I really wouldn't be surprised. But as long as the team is trending in the right direction, I think we're going to be fine. But I do know in order to really keep Miles Turner around, I honestly think this team has to be above 500, at least at 500. Which even then, I don't even know how much of a guarantee that is. Even if we're a 500 basketball team, does that mean Miles is going to verbally commit to coming back? So I don't know what the deal is with Miles Turner. We haven't even gotten anything out of him if he wants to come back, right? So that's the other thing here. It's this team not only do they have to win these next 2 games to really I would say instill confidence back in the team, and I think they'll still be a playoff team, but to shore up everything, to make sure Miles may want to come back. You know what I'm saying? In order to make it so Miles has a reason to come back, we need to get at least at 500 or above 500. Above 500 would be ideal, but I'm just going to take it one miracle at a time. I'm just glad it looks like Tyrese Haliburton is back. I think that he is back. He finally looks happy. He skipped. All right, I said this in the Discord against the Pelicans. He made a 3 and he was skipping. I was like, healthy Tyrese Haliburton skips. Okay, he's skipping on fools. So that means I think he's back. That's my opinion. But I don't know. I could be totally wrong and he fucking bombs tonight, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more. I'm the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.